Good day, viewers. Welcome to another session of Justice for You. We hope our previous episodes has been enlightening and educating. Also, this program is brought to you by Edford Foundation, an organization that renders free legal services to indigent and innocent inmates here in Nigeria. And through the help of our team of lawyers, we've been able to secure freedom for about 102 inmates in Nigeria. My name is Eunice. And I have here with me Mr. Olumide. You're welcome.
Thank you very much.
Please, let's meet you.
My name is Olumide Adubi. I'm a legal practitioner and the managing partner of Viewpoint Legal Practitioners.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much.
So today we'll be discussing on, is the Nigerian Correctional Service Centers indeed correctional?
Okay.
So, as we all know, the correctional centers have been established for a purpose. But the idea of the establishment, have they really been able to fulfill the purpose of their establishment?
Well, creation of correctional centers or prisons, as they are generally known, for different reasons, according to different school of thought. Some believe they are created for purpose of rehabilitation of the offender or reformation of that offender, while another school of thought believe is just to serve as a deterrent to others that, oh, this guy has been sent to prison, I don't want to go to prison, so I wouldn't be involved in crime. While others think it is a form of a system where you incapacitate offenders by keeping them away in a place where they won't be able to hurt any other member of the society. While a different school of thought believes it is a form of retribution, that, oh, you've done this, then you should be able to pay for what you have done. If you look at it from these various school of thoughts, we can actually come to a conclusion and say, well, to an extent, they've been doing what they are supposed to be doing. For example, they keep people in their prisons or in the correctional centers away from the street. So they've met the criteria of incapacitation. If you say, okay, yes, people are kept there because of retribution, they are kept away as a form of punishment, we can say, yes, it has been met. Also, we can say, okay, if it is for deterrence, yes, it has been met. The majority of the question that pops up as a correctional center is, have they been able to meet the need for reformation and rehabilitation? And that is the crux of why we're here, to actually look into it. Now, and if I would delve into that, the extant law on the correctional centers in Nigeria, which is the Nigerian Correction Centers Act of 2019, that was passed into law in July 2019. The Act specifically provides in its, that should be in section 2 thereof, the objective of the Act or establishing the Nigerian correctional system is to rehabilitate or reform people who are set there. And if you look at section 10 of the same Act, it talks about the functions of the custodial service as taking control or custody of persons legally interned, providing safe, secure, and humane custody for inmates, and identifying the existence and causes of antisocial behaviors in inmates, and conducting risk and needs assessment aimed at developing appropriate correctional treatment methods for reformation, rehabilitation, and reintegration. You know, all these things sound glamorous as they are written in the Act, but I beg to say that the reality on ground seems not to meet what the Act seeks to actually see to be done as we have it for now. Because partly this is caused by, number one, the population of people or inmates, but which I believe would have more time to go into as we progress. But I'd like to stop on that for now. Thank you.
Alright. Like, how many prisons do we have in Nigeria, and are they really fulfilling the establishment, the reason for the establishment? For instance, rehabilitation now. Are they really observing that rehabilitation?
Well, prisons in Nigeria are, from available data as at 2018, we have 240 of them, prisons, custodial centers in Nigeria. Well, back to the question of whether they are fulfilling their mandate. Well, I can, like I said earlier on, we can say to an extent they actually are doing what they are supposed to do, but I can also say now in that regard that as at that should be this year, the Vice Chancellor of NAM, that's National Open University of Nigeria, Professor Abdullah Uba Adamu, said specifically that as at present there are 526 inmates having their courses in National Open University of Nigeria, and he said that at the presentation of certificates to 5 inmates at Kirikiri prisons here in Lagos who have graduated from the school. We have inmates who have graduated from the correctional center in Enugu as well, from National Open University. So this is one of the things that the correctional center ought to do, which they are actually doing. Why? They provide an avenue for inmates to still go to school and become a better person, notwithstanding their present predicament. Also, we also have, by experience, personal experience, I've been to some correctional centers. I've seen inmates now engaging in different vocational activities, which is one of the things that is provided for in the act that they should be doing as well. Now, but these things are only available to the convicted inmates, and that is a problem. Now, as at present, we have, from what the CJN, the Chief Justice of Nigeria, said a few days ago when he was in his memo to the head of courts that they should see to the congestion of prisons, he said there are 74,127 inmates currently in Nigeria, about that number. Out of this number, we have over 52,000 that are awaiting trial essence. Now, what does that tell us? About 70% of them are awaiting trial. And so, by being people who are awaiting trial, they are not part of people who can actually be rehabilitated, so to say, because the system does not allow that. You don't know when they will leave. So if you start a program with such a person who is awaiting trial and is released the following day, then you wasted your time on whatever you are doing with him. So the main focus is always on the convicts. So it creates a problem. And then another angle to it is, assuming you have a house where you are supposed to keep 5 people and take care of them, and then you now have to cater for 15 people in that same house, sharing the resources in the house, then it becomes a problem, because resources meant for 5 people is being used by 15. So it becomes more of a problem to take care of them. So these are things that militate against actual realization of meeting the purpose of rehabilitation of inmates.
Alright. Talking about the general living condition and factors such as their feeding and their health, and most times if you get to the correctional centers now, the inmates are just living day in, day out, having nothing worthwhile to do. And at the end of the day, most of them come out as hardened criminals, and some even have issues of adjusting to the society. What do you have to say about that?
Well, let me make recourse to the Act establishing the Nigerian Correctional Center, it actually provides, that should be in section 30 thereof, that they should make provision for the welfare of inmates who are there. But like I earlier stated, if you have an overbloated resource, or you have overbloated number of persons in your custodial center, then it becomes a problem for you to successfully manage them. So even though the Director General of Controller General of the Custodial of the Nigerian Correctional Services is given enough resources, quote and unquote, whether it is enough, it's something else. Now, if he's given resources to manage those who are in his correctional centers, now, but with the number of people awaiting trial inmates trooping in on a daily basis, how is he supposed to cope and give them the resources that are supposed to be given to them? So then if you now come to the issue of rationing whatever is available to as many people as possible so as to sustain them. So these are bottlenecks for any organization that even wants to say, okay, I want to help or I want to do anything, because you don't even know that there's no stable statistics to work with, because some are being released, some are coming in, especially in a place like Lagos, where being arraigned in court is 90 to 95% sure that you go to the correctional centers. Of course, there are a lot of factors contributing to that as well, which I will definitely go into later. But as it were, the challenges facing the Nigerian Correctional Service is humongous, and so it prevents them from actually achieving their mandate in terms of rehabilitation or reformation of inmates.
Can you address the issue of putting the inmates together? For instance, those that are waiting trial and those that have been convicted. For example, someone that stole, for instance, Indomie, and someone that broke a bank. Directly or indirectly, there's a way the minor offender can be influenced negatively by the person with a major offense.
Well, with the setup of correction services, it is in different categories. We have the maximum security prisons, like we have here in Kirikiri. We have the medium security, and then we have the women facilities as well. We have that of the juvenile. Now, but at times, when you have large number of people to work with, and you have limited space, then you have no choice than to mix everybody together, since there's no room to separate them. So those that are distinctively separated are the women and the children. Now, here in Lagos, we have women prisons specifically. In most of other prisons, they are inside the same compound, even though they are not demarcated inside to women and then to female and male. Now, but the problem is now those in the general prison. Like you said, there are people who, now, specifically mention was made of one man named Abdullah Muhammad. He's 49 years old, a male. He's been kept in prison since May 2013 for stealing an asset. Mention was made of him in a report given by, in a newspaper report referencing the Controller General of Prisons when he was addressing the public at the beginning of releasing inmates due to COVID-19. The man has been there. He stole an asset. There was a day I went to the prisons and I was interviewing there. I met one boy there. He said, oh, he was arrested for wandering and he has been in prison. Now, such a person has an opportunity of meeting somebody who was arrested probably for robbery, who was arrested for armed robbery, or somebody who was arrested for any other major offense. Now, being that as it may, the enclave in where they operate actually gives room for rapport with each other. Such a person can definitely be negatively influenced. Or now, because they know he will soon get out, because he's arrested for wandering and all that, they know he will soon get out. They might now use him as an envoy to their mates outside. I say, look, be a channel of communication. They give him information or stuff like that. So it is a problem, but it all boils down to the issue of managing space. If you don't have the space to put them, you have no choice than to mix them up together. But that shouldn't be. It is wrong, it is condemnable, and it should not continue. Now, that will lead me to the provisions in the Nigerian Correctional Service Act that gives the superintendent over a correctional center to actually refuse taking in inmates, especially awaiting trial persons. That if your custodial center is full, you should inform the relevant authorities, probably the head of courts in the jurisdiction, that our custodial center is full. There is no more room for people to come in. So you should initiate a process of rejecting awaiting trial persons from coming into the custodial center specifically. But, well, it is there in white and black. But the question is, will they follow through with that? That is yet to be known. Yes, the act just came into force last year, so it has not even been a year yet. So we don't know. Maybe as time goes on, they will start taking that action. But as it stands as of today, such is not being done. The facilities are still overblown, and so they have to mix everybody together.
Let's talk about the prison officials, that is the warders and those in charge of the prisoners. Can we really say that they are qualified or adequately trained for such positions? Because the belief is that most individuals don't intend or plan to become warders or to be in charge of prisoners.
Well, the situation in the country forced many people into going into several jobs.
Yes.
So, and it is required that wherever you find yourself, you should give your best shot at it, at being the best there. Having said that, everybody that is given an opportunity to be a prison warden officer is mandatorily required to go for a training. 6 months training as required by the Act, that they should go for training for 6 months, and then after that they will also be exposed to different courses to ensure that they give the best of their ability to the service of the inmates, because they are responsible for them. Now, as regards to your qualification, I think anybody who has gone through the educational system in Nigeria up to university level should be able to work in that kind of environment, having undergone a special training organized by them. But also, I would think people who have to do with how human beings reason, who have to do with psychology, people who dealt with criminology, lawyers should be able to say, okay, given a kind of preference that, oh, if somebody who studied criminology is coming forward to say, I want to join this service, they should be given a kind of preference because they have a training right from school about criminals, causes of delinquent behaviors or antisocial behaviors, and so they will easily fall in line with what the correctional service seeks to achieve. Now, in that, it would make them more fit for the service they are supposed to render. So, because a psychologist can understand what you are going through. Lawyers, criminologists, they know, they've had things about that line of work, so they can actually be of help, and then also help in maintaining rights of inmates, and also understand the reason why they do what they do, and then be able to chart a pathway for them to be reintegrated into the society, having left the custodial centers. So I think this can actually be put in place so that we have better hands handling those who are in the custodial centers.
Addressing the issue of staff welfare, it has noticed that most of the items taken to the prisons most times don't get to the inmates, and this definitely speaks a lot concerning the welfare of the staff and the officials. What do you have to say about that?
Well, I will take an allusion from what John the Baptist told the soldiers who came to meet him when they asked and said, "And for us, what should we do?" He said, "Be content with your wages." And that goes to say that if you've taken up a job to do, then you should be content with what you are being paid. And if you are not comfortable, just tender your resignation and go. Now, having said that, it also needs to be said that the welfare of staff should be looked into, and they should be adequately taken care of. The Act actually provides that even when they are in training, they are supposed to be paid allowances, they are supposed to be given accommodation, they are supposed to be given a transport allowance while they are in training. And even while they are at work, the hazard allowance is provided for in terms of when they have one injury or the other in the course of service. That's section 26 of the Act, said hazard allowance, and even if it involves grievous bodily harm or that leads to death, that 100% of their salaries should be given to their next of kin. So these are things put in place to actually encourage those who work there. However, I like to say that anybody in an organization is a product of the society, and since these people are also products of the Nigerian society that we know is bedeviled by corruption, it's also reflecting on them. And so it is my opinion, and I dare to say that if each one of us will act responsibly as citizens of Nigeria, then those who go into the correctional service as officers will also act in the same way and let what is meant for Caesar to get to Caesar. Thank you.
Thank you. What do you think should be the qualification of the prison officials, or what kind of professionals do you think should be recruited to fill such positions?
Yeah, I mentioned earlier on that people who are in legal professions, psychologists, criminologists, or people who deal with human behavior, sociologists, can actually be employed in all these custodial centers because they know more about human behavior. Because if we are saying we want a behavioral change, then we need to put people who know about behavioral changes in that place so that they will be able to modify the lifestyle of people in the custodial centers.
I also want us to talk on the issue of the congestion of the prison, and
Sorry?
we know that the numbers of those that are in custody are actually more than most of the facilities and what they have. So what do you think can be done in such instances?
Well, first off, it all starts from the point of arrest. Now, what offenses are people being arrested for? Are people not just being arrested for civil offenses or civil violations? Or people are just being arrested, like they call it, we are going for raiding. They just pack a whole number of people, take them to the police station, and if you are unlucky that you don't have enough money to quote and unquote settle the IPO or the affected police officer the following money in order to clear their cell, you are whisked before the court arraigned before the court, well, the court will do its job, grant you bail. Now, that's where the problem starts. I, for one, I always advise my clients that it's better we settle whatever it is at the police station, because I don't want the matter to get to the court. It is not because I'm afraid of going to the court, but because I know the intricacies involved while you get to the court. Now, the court official, that's the magistrate or the high court judge, will honorably discharge his duty by granting bail. Probably they will say, oh, bail is granted in sum of 50,000 naira with one shorty or two shorties in like sum. Oh, the address of the shorty should be verified. Now, it is as simple as that on paper, but that can take you weeks and months to follow, depending on how much cash you are willing to part with. It starts from court officials, some of them, for them to even take your file to the magistrate, they demand for money. For the police officer attached to the court to do verification, that's another block with police. They demand for money. I've seen one that demanded 50,000 naira from my client to go and do verification. I just backed out. I said, look, I'm not giving you a dime. I'm not cut out for this. The client was like, oh, I don't want to go to prison. I said, madam, you can go and sleep a night there. It won't kill you. But I'm not giving this person this amount of money because he wants to go and verify the house of the shorties. So these are issues. And because the person, if the person cannot meet all these criteria, the person is handed over to the prison officials or the custodial centers. Now, having been handed over, they take you to their custodial center. The place become what? More overloaded. Why? Because more and more people are taken to the custodial centers on a daily basis because they can't meet the bail conditions set by the court. Some of them are there on flimsy charges, but the court will not just say you can go home. I was in one court one day, and a young chap it was a fact and sentencing, and a young chap was there in the dock, and after they read the facts, that he said he went to burgle a shop and steal clothes because he wanted clothes for the victory or one of these Muslim celebrations. I was shocked where I sat down. So after the facts were given, and then he was convicted of stealing, and then the man said, well, what does he have to say? Where I was seated, I was forced to stand up to address the court. And I told the court, Your Honor, permit me to speak on behalf of this young guy. That there's no point sending this young chap to any prison or custodial center because he has his life ahead of him. Look, the reason for his going to steal is because he wants to wear clothes. And now if he's sent to a custodial center, like we said, he's going to meet all sorts of persons there. So I made a passionate plea with the magistrate to allow him to go for community service. So the magistrate, in his wisdom, allowed him to go for community service. That truly, like I said, it is not good to send such a young chap to the prison. So he sentenced, he told him to go for 3 months community service. Well, if I see the young chap today, I don't know him from Adam. Probably he wouldn't even recognize me. But I was touched because I know what goes on in all these places. And it is not a place where someone should go. But how many of such a person have been sent to the custodial centers? And that is why the place is jam-packed with all sorts of people. Like I said earlier on, over 70,000 are in our custodial centers. Normally, the custodial centers are not supposed to hold more than 50,000 or thereabouts. Now we have over 70,000 in the custodial centers, and 70% of them, out of the 72,000, about 50,000 plus are waiting trial persons. So it starts from the police to the court, and then, as it is provided in the Act, that the official visitors to all these custodial centers, being the president, and then the attorney general, then for the federal government, then in the state, the governors, the magistrates, judges, and justices of the Supreme Court, justices of the Court of Appeal, High Court judges, they should pay frequent visits to all these custodial centers with a view to reducing the number of people there. I think that's one of the ways in which we would reduce the number in all these centers if they actually do this on a regular basis. It will reduce the number of people who are kept in all those centers, and then we won't be talking about all this issue of congestion here and there. And also speedy trials, that is one of the things that the officials in the custodial centers, it is said in the act that they should liaise with the court to ensure speedy trial of inmates. And then if that cannot be achieved, like section 18D of the act says, they issue the necessary notification. That also is contained in section 12.4 of the act, that if there is a matter of congestion, let the appropriate authorities know and refuse to take any more inmates until the necessary things are done. If these steps are not taken, well, in the next few years we'll still be here talking about the same issue. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So now, on a general note, can you give us your final remarks?
Well, on a general note, I would just say our custodial centers in Nigeria needs a total reformation itself, not reformation of the inmates, but the custodial centers themselves need reformation. Because at times when we see the situation of inmates when they are brought before the court, you need not be told that their conditions are not palatable, and no human being should be subjected to such a condition, because many of them are actually smelling and all that. So if the custodial centers are made a place that is fit for human beings to stay, then people who are there will have time to even reflect and think that, oh, I need to make a better life for myself. And that is the process of the start of the process of reformation. For somebody to be able to have a rethink that I need to do something better than committing a crime. But if all they do is go there and mix up with other criminal elements, and then they come back to the society and they're having mental disorders or having psychological effects, then they are of no good to the society, which is what the correctional centers ought to do. So the correctional centers themselves should be reformed, probably create more custodial centers, or we should go back to the non-custodial sentencing, talking about putting people on parole, doing community service, probation, restorative justice. All this will definitely help to decongest our prisons if new ones are not being built, and the facilities also, if they are not being updated, then we don't have a need to continue sending people who can be of better use to the community. We have so many things to be done in society. Many of our roads are bad. Send people to go and construct the roads. We are diversifying into farming. Let them go to farms. Community service. Let them be productive while still undergoing the terms imposed on them. And I think by this we'll have a better society, and then everyone will be safer for it. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Lumide. I'm glad to have you here today.
Thanks,
our viewers. I hope you'll be able to learn a thing or two. Also, don't forget to subscribe to our channel, like, share, and also turn on notifications to receive our new posts. Thank you.